Hi, I'm a 7th grade language arts teacher, and I would like to share with you a few ideas I use when teaching a novel. My students from last year suggested that I start off this school year with a really cool novel that they all really enjoyed. This novel is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. The students totally enjoyed it. We did so many creative activities. That's why I'm wearing the coon hat and the red fern earrings, because we did some really neat activities. The students also used their literacy notebooks to do their activities, in which they generated ideas. They did journal writings in here. They did vocabulary activities in here. It's a really neat way to have something to refer back to when reading your novels. Another thing that the kids did was they broke into their groups, and some of the kids focused on the author to present to the class, showing the class pictures of the author, brought the kids in as far as having a feeling for who this person was that was doing this writing, knowing about how that author lived, who that person was. They also presented information about the characters. Most of the kids in the groups focus on the animals. We had Little Ann and Little Dan, which were coon dogs, red-bone coon dogs. The kids found out that coon was short for raccoon when they did the research. They showed pictures of the dogs. A lot of the kids didn't know how a coon dog looked, a hunting dog. So that was a great help. We had a gentleman come in and speak to the class about that. So having speakers come in to speak, if there's any way you can get a speaker to come in, it definitely makes the kids feel a lot closer to what you're talking about, understanding, comprehending that information when you're reading. We also had the kids do the setting. This story took place in the Ozarks. After the kids saw how beautiful, we did some drawings also of the Ozarks after the kids presented the PowerPoint, printed off pictures from the internet of the Ozarks. We posted those in the classroom. So when we're reading and they're seeing that the characters are traveling through these areas, or the boys hunting in these areas, they get more of a feel of it. Because we have kids that are focused on iPods, iPads, computers, Xboxes, PlayStation 3, so we have to keep the rigor up in that classroom, or else we can lose them. Another thing was they had to have references. They had to use certain references to document their references that they used too. Another thing that we did was journal writing. When we had a schedule of when we read in our novels. Some days we would read as a class. Some days we would move into groups and you would read with your group. You would do some type of summary or journal writing after you did your reading. On Fridays, the students would basically do maybe a journal writing where they would write a letter to the author, voicing what they would have changed in the book, writing a letter to a character in the book. So they always did reading, writing, reading, writing. A lot of times the kids complained because they wanted to go on to another chapter. That's when you know you got them hooked. You got them hooked, okay? Information, information, information. Okay. Background knowledge of the author, the characters, is definitely a plus for these kids. I find that when we do some of the activities, the vocabulary activities, in which I will also take you through that process when I finish speaking, in their literacy notebooks, there's such a thing as alpha boxes. It can be used in so many ways. They take the alphabets from A to Z. They will write in vocabulary words pertaining to just that chapter, beginning with the word A, a word beginning with B. It's so much fun. The kids have to really brainstorm. Sometimes they can use the book, sometimes they don't use the book. Most of the time I don't let them use the book so they can recall details. So they're increasing their memory recall. The kids tend to want to open the books when they do alpha boxes. Like I said, I will introduce you to that after I finish speaking.